Wonderful. I'll also include the interview tapes since I didn't already do them. And after this episode, it's going to be just straight up New Game Plus. Oh, right, I forgot I did that. No. Alright.
Patient notes. Gordon, Barbara, session 1. Wake up, Miss Gordon. Wake up. Inject her. Another dose.
I'm awake, you bastard.
Good. Who is Batman?
Ask him when he gets here.
Thank you, Miss Gordon. I was afraid that my preferred interrogation method would not be necessary. Do you know why I wear these syringes on my hands?
Because you're insane?
I usually disperse my toxin as an aerosol. It's efficient, but not pure. Now, the terror I can elicit with a concentrated dose administered directly into the bloodstream, that is beautiful to witness. The long-term damage is more severe, of course.
Are you done talking?
I am, but you have barely begun. You'll be incoherent when my toxin dissolves the wall between your conscious mind and your suppressed subconscious nightmares. But as those fears slowly recede, they'll take this pathetic defiance with them.
You're still talking.
Very well.
Get the hell away from her! He's gone. Did he hurt you?
Spare me the good cop, bad cop routine.
No. See, you're supposed to keep me talking. Play for time. Wait for Batman. That's what he taught you, right?
I've got nothing to say to you.
Me? I talked for hours. Because I knew, right? Batman was on his way to save me. And the bastard just let me talk. Eventually, I just ran out of things to say. So trust me, you can't count on Bruce to save you.
Bruce.
Yeah, Scarecrow doesn't know. It's our little secret. Now here's another. Batman likes to play the hero, Barbara, and he's pretty good at it. But it's an act. Batman's not about saving the innocent. No, he's about punishing the guilty. And don't get me wrong. They'll look for you, or they'll try. But when it comes down to it, when he has to make a choice between you and the mission, he'll choose the mission. Every time.
You're wrong.
Look me in the eye and say that.
Jason? Jason, this is wrong.
This is justice. He left me.
He lost you. And he mourned for you. Come home.
Can't go back. You don't know what Joker did, Barbara. He hollowed me out and filled me back up with hate and...
Jason, we can fix it.
I can fix it! I know now what to do. I take all this pain, all this blackness, and I put it all in a bullet, and I put it right between Bruce's eyes.
Joker's dead, Jason. You want revenge on the man who hurt you? You've got one shot. Come back to the manor. Let us help you. Don't let Joker win. We all do.
The Cloudburst is charged, Knight. It's time.
Someone put a gag on her. Anyone hurts her, they're a dead man.
did say blackness. He did die in Arkham Asylum. Just saying. This one, right
Who's there?
It's Mr. Adams. We spoke on the phone.
Oh, come in, but slowly, and keep your hands up.
Thank you for agreeing to see me, Miss Quinzel.
Well, you said you know something about Mr. J. Start talking.
Well, it's not every day I have a gun pointed at my face. It's rather exciting, isn't it?
You got about 2 seconds before I blow your wrinkly old brains out. What's so funny?
I'm just remembering an old joker. Oh, sorry. I meant joke.
I don't listen to jokes no more.
What's red and flat? A baby under an anvil. Why couldn't the policeman catch the thief? Because his legs have been cut off. A father takes his family to the amusement park. They all die in a car crash on the way home.
You're real funny. You know, I ain't laughed like that since. I miss my pudding.
Oh, poor Harley. I've missed you too.
Those jokes weren't even dark humor. That was just not even funny at all. That was a horrible punchline. All of them.
Patient interview, October 15th.
Oh.
Please state your name.
Henry Adams. What is this place, Batman? Where am I?
You're here for your own safety, Henry. You could be sick.
Sick? I've never felt better in my whole life.
You're sure? No mood swings, behavioral changes.
Absolutely not. Those people in the other cells. Who are they?
Their blood was contaminated. Like yours.
What? I mean, I'm not the only one.
I think you're the key to helping them.
Those smiles. I've seen that before. It's him. The Joker.
We'll find a cure, Henry.
We're in danger, Batman. You can't risk that kind of evil escaping into the world. You should kill them. All of them. It's the only way to be sure.
That's all for now, Henry. Interview over.
Joker's hallucination also said that too. To purify the gene pool. That could have been after the interview. Just talking. Anything about that for Joker.
Mrs. Q, this is Mr. J. Come in. Over.
Reading you loud and clear, Mr. J.
My infiltration remains utterly flawless. Operation Pudding Break is a go.
Yippee! How are my babies?
They're in rude health, my dear. All dying to meet Mommy. Now, you remember the plan, don't you?
Yeah. I don't really want to hit you over the head, though. It's gonna hurt.
We've been over this, my little knuckle duster. It's the only way to convince Batman that I'm to be trusted. You do want to kill him, don't you?
Yeah. Okay.
Ooh, have to dash. Bird Boy's coming. See you soon. Mr. J, over and out.
Let me see this count real quick. Yo, what's up? Remember DE? Yeah, I remember yo. Can't tell from what though. Your Arkham City Live. Okay. I know you don't. But I know you're a 17-year-old. You told me. I mean, it's clearly in my description, so. Would I watch all this?
Mrs. Q,
Yeah. Next one. Next one. I must have never heard his tapes because I don't remember him having a tape.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls. Ladies and gentlemen, boys and... Ladies and gentlemen.
I'm thinking Harley Quinn mannequins. Many lives are nostalgic. Love Arkham Knight. Wow, new characters. Yeah, they did new characters in the new game. Well, not really new game, like 10 years old. I'm thinking Arkham City mannequins from Harley Quinn. Right?
Ladies and gentlemen.
Yeah.
Ladies and gentlemen, boys and girls, the circus of strange coming to a town near you. Never before has such a host of talented performers gathered in one place to amaze and entertain. Be astounded by Big Top. Is it a man? Is it a woman? Who knows? But I guarantee it's the most gigantically grotesque assortment of flesh you have ever seen. Be dumbfounded by the acrobatic oddity that is Cayenne. Stare open mouthed as these conjoined triplet hoops defy the limits of the human body and its imagination. And last but by no means least, be stunned and horrified by the combustible wonder that is phosphorus tracks. Folks, you gotta see it to believe it. Come and join us, and you'll never look at the world the same way again. Janosch, my dearest son. Oh, my perfect child. I make these recordings so that you are not alone. So that you know Daddy loves his son. Daddy loves his little pig. The circus has traveled far, and we have brought joy to many sad people. They join us now like a big family, growing week by week. Now they feel no pain. They know nothing of misery. I call them my Dollartrons. To each new home we move at night, finding a fresh patch of earth to inhabit. Secret places in forgotten parts of town. Ugly wastelands where the locals stumble unawares into our candy-striped tent. The Dollartrons are the first to greet them with open arms and perfect faces. The climax of the show is when I take them to see Mother. Oh, I tell you, they are amazed by my imagination, confounded by my dexterity, as each is transformed into a beautiful work of art. But Mother is hard to please. She wants more, always more, never satisfied, always driving me to work harder to obtain perfection. And I will. Night has drawn its curtain yet again, and the circus moves on, our numbers swollen to a different patch of earth. On the dark horizon, the building tops glimmer, the heat and smog of industry shrouds a den of criminals and beasts. Gotham is her name. Janosch, I tell you, the circus has come home.
The way you said a name like that was insane.
My dear Janosch, it is time you learned the truth about your mother, your real mother.
I thought that
I
was...
remember not her name or how she found me wallowing in that pit of despair.
Don't tell me.
Like an angel, she swept into my turvy world, dragged me, screaming, until Mother Goat found her. Imagine my horror when I emerged from that dreamy soup and discovered what she'd done. Placenta face, cork-on smile, ribbons of ruptured flesh. Ooh, the nails had done their work. But by then my seed was already sown. Your life already begun. Mother would have killed you both had I not stopped her. Saved
What?
you from her rage. Day and night I worked, month after month, sculpting her loathsome clay to recapture the beauty that saved me that night. The night of your creation. She clung to me as you grew, as I toiled to make her right again. But nothing pleased Mother Goat. Nothing. I did all I could to fix her, to make her perfect. But by the time you came along, I couldn't even look upon that spoiled canvas of her face. I couldn't let that be the face that greeted you in this world. I had to end it, Yalos. For you. For Mother. She left me no choice.
DID? Maybe? And by the way, I really wish I had this skin for the showcase. Like, that would have been so perfect for the red UI. But no, all we get is normal Red Hood, Arkham Knight, and that's it. That's it. All we have is 2 skins. You would go with this dude.
I thought...
Hold on, I think you made comments. Same bro, I swear I grew up with Arkham City since I was 9. Yeah, I've grown up with Arkham City as well. The demo is what brought me into the Arkham Trilogy. And I'm saying Trilogy here. I don't like playing Arkham Origins, it's just a City ripoff. To me. The only thing unique about it is I brought new gadgets. It is canon in my mind. But the fact I couldn't get the gadgets from the past...
I thought it best we meet alone, Edward.
I know what you're doing, Crane. Talking to me away from Cobblepot and the others. You're appealing to my ego.
Is it working?
Ha! I don't have an ego, Crane. I'm far too brilliant. Especially for the likes of you.
Of course, Edward. But nonetheless, we have a mutual foe.
A foe I could vanquish with but one of my cerebral lobes intact. Yet here you are, proposing an alliance that would let you bask in my luminescent glory.
But what if you failed, Edward? What if, by some underhand means, of course, the Batman were to humiliate you again?
Absurd.
I know, Edward, it's a frightening thought. How many failures can even your enviable reputation withstand? But if the Bat were distracted and tugged in too many directions by too many threats, why, then you would be assured of the upper hand.
I don't know how to respond to your ridiculous insinuations, so all I will say is this. Tell me which day you plan to attack Gotham, and maybe, just maybe, if you're lucky, I will coincidentally put my entirely separate and superior master plan into effect.
How kind, Edward. I will keep my fingers crossed.
Who is this? Ah, Miss Kyle. You have the privilege of conversing with me, the Riddler. Gotham...
Wait,
Who is this?
that's not her.
Who is this? Ah, Miss Kyle. You have the privilege of conversing with me, the Riddler. Gotham's premier supervillain and intellectual colossus.
And I'm honored, Eddie. Really. Bye.
Wait. I'll get to the point. I find myself in need of your unique skill set, your street smart, as your intellectually challenged kind adorably calls them.
I'm going to adorably hang up on you, Eddie.
No, listen. I need something acquired, something valuable.
Sorry, Eddie. It's just that I have all these clients who aren't insecure little power-mad man-children.
Fine. You may name your fee.
Information.
Ah, the most valuable commodity of all.
Scarecrow's planning something involving Batman.
I might be furnished with the absurd particulars of his ridiculous scheme.
I'll get you what you want, Eddie, if you tell me what I need to know.
And Cowman never said that. The Batman.
Right, okay. Riddler bot memory formatted, adaptive AI algorithms uploaded, joints oiled. Now, give my creation life! Ah, damn it! Useless hunk of dead metal. Do you want to become a semi-automated theme park mannequin? Because that's the fate in store for you.
Problem, Eddie?
Ah, Miss Kyle, you're here.
And you already have company. Almost, anyway. Did you lose your friend's batteries?
Why, yes. In a manner of speaking, anyway. I'm depleted.
And always compensating for it, too.
Oh, Catwoman, your wit never ceases to occur. Now, I need you to procure a set of rechargeable energy cells for me. Stag Enterprises' Nimbus Tech will work. I'm sure Wayne Enterprises has an equivalent.
Got it. It's been a pleasure as always, Eddie. Except for the talking to you part.
Wait! At least take a glimpse at what it is you're supposed to be stealing. There, in the robot's chest cavity. Go on. It won't bite.
Eddie, there's no... What the hell? Eddie, make this thing let me go.
Batteries? You think I needed batteries? Oh, Miss Kyle, you underestimated my bespoke power supply innovations, and that was your downfall.
What is this, Eddie?
This is, bait. You see, I've identified what I believe to be some sort of attachment between you and Batman. The base nature of this attachment, quite frankly, disgusts me. But
What?
it will bring him here.
You'll regret this.
The world's greatest detective does not frighten me.
He's not the reason you'll regret it.
Did he or did he not pay information first? Pay with.
Who is this?
Ah, Miss Kyle. You have the privilege of conversing with me, the Riddler. Gotham's premier supervillain and intellectual colossus.
And I'm honored, Eddie. Really. Bye.
Wait. I'll get to the point. I find myself in need of your unique skill set, your street smart, as your intellectually challenged kind adorably calls them.
I'm going to adorably hang up on you, Eddie.
No, listen. I need something acquired, something valuable.
Sorry, Eddie. It's just that I have all these clients who aren't insecure little power-mad man-children.
Fine. You may name your fee.
Information.
Did she not get it first?
You should invest in better guards, Crane. are you? Another pretender to the cow?
Call me the Arkham Knight.
Another child of the asylum set free. Tell me, what tortured soul cowers behind that mask?
It doesn't matter who I am. I'm here because we want the same thing. Batman dead.
You made short work of my guards. But Batman is a very different proposition. One for which I am fully prepared.
Those guards I killed, I could replace them with an army. An army trained in his methods.
Trained by whom?
Me.
And what would you know about Batman?
His fear.
Very well. You have my attention, Arkham Knight.
What did his guards look like? I think there was Scarecrow thugs back when the game was still in development, but they cut it out. I don't know if I remember the looks of them or not. I think it was like gas masks. Otherwise, it would be pretty cool if we had only Scarecrows when to go after.
$3 billion is a significant investment.
People are willing to pay.
And what exactly would we be getting for our money?
Tanks, drones, a highly trained infantry.
You think you can just bring tanks into Gotham?
We hold a city ransom. We create panic. Then chaos.
A distraction.
As they run scared, we emerge. Take over his habitat. Every rooftop, road, and back alley. We draw him out of the shadows and chip away until he has nowhere left to hide. And no one left to hide behind.
If you want him dead, why come to me? You seem capable.
He needs to suffer. I suffered, so he will too.
So, it's personal. Well, there are many in this city with a gift for causing harm.
Not that kind of pain. The real kind.
You want him afraid.
I've seen what your toxin does. I want that.
You're well informed about all of us Arkham Knights. But you're wrong about something. I don't want Batman dead. I want him unmade.
He's better off dead.
Kill him and you martyr him. You make him a legend. But break him, humiliate him, terrify him, and hold him up for the world to see. Then he's nothing but a man.
Look, you can do what you want, Crane, but when you're done, I will kill him.
Very well, but know this. It will be an act of mercy when you do.
I don't know what to say. I want something else.
Damn it! Sorry. Dropped it. Jittery hands. I keep thinking someone's gonna barge through the door at any moment. The scotch probably didn't help. Oh, sorry. I forgot to introduce myself, didn't I? My name is Alex Sartorius. Dr. Alex Sartorius. And this? Well, I suppose this is my confession. 20 years ago, I went into business with my friend and business partner, Simon Stagg. It feels strange talking into this thing. I've never been one for the limelight. Never cared for attention. He was the businessman, I was the scientist. Stagg Enterprises was a fine name by me. And we did fine work, too. I want you to remember that. Whatever comes out. The cure for the Tugela virus. That was us. The treatment for Collier syndrome. That was us, too. No. Not us. That was me. I never cared about the financials, of course. I never needed to. Don't you worry, Alex, Simon used to say, and I believed him. Believed him right up to the day he told me there was a big gaping hole where next year's budget was supposed to be. I wonder... Now, of course, if he was lying... I mean, can you blame me? If you just come out and asked me, I'd probably have said no. I'm no bleeding heart, but if there'd been no need... Oh, sorry. I'm getting ahead of myself, aren't I? These anti-anxiety meds, they rattled your brain. What I'm trying to say is that day, the day we ran out of money, that's when the weapons contracts began.
What would you use them for?
Hello? yes, hello. I am in a better mood today. I've discovered a pharmaceutical cure for paranoia, you see. You put the anti-anxiety pill straight into the whiskey bottle and you swirl it around. Oh, no. Where was I? Oh, yes! Chemical weapons, biological weapons. Oh, wonderful things. We went into this to save people, but it turns out that killing them paid better. Not well enough for Simon, though. That greedy, grasping parasite, that bastard! There are many buyers for this stuff, you see. Not legal buyers, anyway, so you have to be competitive. But how can you do research quickly when human testing is illegal? Not to mention, life-threateningly dangerous, unethical, unfathomably risky. Well, it's obvious. You do human testing anyway. He never told me where they came from. Just that no one would miss them. You think I want forgiveness? You think this is some desperate mea culpa? I was raised Catholic, but I chose science over faith. This is not about me, this pathetic, drunken confession. I struck my bargain, let him threaten me into silence while I worked on my vaccines, my cures. So don't judge me, whoever you are. Whichever junior reporter at the Gotham Herald was lucky enough to press the play button on this device. No! This isn't about me. This is about him. He's gotten worse. We're a pharmaceutical company in name alone these days. It's all weapons. Some to the army, even more to the people the army's fighting. And now Scarecrow's here? I know what they're doing. They're taking my technology, my mass inoculation device, and they're turning it into something twisted, something wrong. Well, I won't let that happen. I won't turn a blind eye anymore. This confession will be my epitaph, the proof that I was not content to weigh the good I've done against the evil done by him anymore. If you were listening to this...
Dr. Sartorius, Mr. Stagg would like a word.
The thing is, since Batman has a hold of this dialogue, I don't think he can use it to permanently imprison Stagg. It's off the book. That, or he just happened to find it somewhere. Which, by the way, how did we get these interview tapes if we didn't give them my riddles? Well, here we go with reading again. Oh, me. How many is this? That is 40, I think. Or 46. $10, $20. Yeah, it's 40. That's 40. Okay. Great. Great. Even more reading for me to do. They have pages and 8 stories. Yeah, big. Is that the name of this? Yeah. Breakfast at Wayne Manor was served at 6 p.m. and traditionally consisted of an egg white omelet, a pot of black coffee, and a pair of mild painkillers served on a small silver dish to the side of the tray. Lately, Master Bruce had taken to leaving the omelet. Today was no exception, Alfred noted. Stepping out of his employer's bedroom, tray in hand, this was unlike Bruce Wayne, who would force down bloody slabs of meat when sick rather than risk the loss of muscle mass. Hmm. But Master Bruce hasn't been himself since the Joker died. Alfred expected some change, naturally, but he had hoped his mastermind would relax. Instead, Bruce had attacked Gotham's criminal population with a renewed intensity. When Alfred questioned him, Bruce had explained the necessity of striking while the power vacuum remained. Eminently sensible, yet Bruce's urgency seemed like that of a man running out of time. Alfred found Bruce in the Batcave, of course, already suited, sending revised specifications to Lucius Batmobile. For the new Batmobile. That goes in with another one too. Sir, Alfred ventured, given that we have no pressing leads this evening, and sundown is not for another 45 minutes, I thought I might tempt you with what remains of your breakfast. 42 minutes. Bruce kept his eyes on the back computer screen. Alfred paused for a moment, wondering what possibly could have driven the man he raised to keep secrets from him for the first time in 30 years. Very good, sir. That was a story? Wait, hold on. Is there a story for Batgirl? Every scan is a story. Got it. Got it. I'll be right back. Hugo Strange followed Ra's al Ghul out onto Wonder Tower's viewing platform. Arkham City gleamed beneath them, a peaceful patchwork of neon and steel. "How's your mare?" Race inquired, tightly gripping the railing to steady himself. Playing his part, Strange observed. People seemed quite convinced. It will be morally repugnant to a few, but even they cannot deny the impulse. Race closed his eyes to wipe the slate clean. I can actually imagine these, actually. I can actually imagine these. Just like the last one, too. I can imagine this stuff is pretty good. Like, I can visually or mentally see Bruce Wayne at the back computer sending specifications to Lucius. I won't read into off this, but Strange had noticed the subtle glitches in his master's behavior. The professor had conducted enough experiments to recognize the symptoms of mental trauma, as well when a patient was trying to mask its effects. "I wish you allowed me access to the Sorcerer Tower," Strange said blandly. "I could help. It is here, isn't it? In the base of this tower?" Race laughed, and suddenly Strange couldn't breathe. "I don't get that. He doesn't have the Force. You think you see weakness?" Race squeezed. Strange felt his throat tightening, life ebbing away. "How wrong you are." was he choking him? Reese squeezed Strangefellow's throat tightened. Was he choking him? Why didn't it say that? Maybe I'm stupid. Yep. Yep. Race released him, and Strange dropped to his knees, sucking in air. Race walked back to his place overlooking the city. We will rid the Gotham of its vermin. Nothing can stop us. Strange massaged his neck. You think he will stand by idly while we murder thousands? Batman won't, Race replied. But Bruce Wayne won't have any choice. I can't wait for this one, I can't wait. This is Amadeus Arkham's grave, I think. Or was that short? Sorry. Oh. I think Amadeus was buried in Arkham, wasn't he? That was a scam. No, 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 no. What am I talking about? It's the same person. I entirely forgot that Amadeus Arkham was Warden Sharp. I got no difference. Hold on. Hold on. It's either DID or a split personality disorder. Split personality disorder versus DID. Oh, never mind. It DID and split personality disorder is literally the same thing. Literally the same thing. I'm done, by the way. To find Batman, find the injustice. Please, God, don't hurt me. The man in the suit backed away, tossing his wallet onto the ground. His attackers closed in. One of them scooped up the wallet and figured the notes inside. Jackpot. The other cracked his knuckles and threw a punch, dropping the suit to his knees. What? Wait, what? Dropping the suit? Whatever. Dropping the suit to his knees, holding his broken face. Money won't save you, but he can. The ripple of taut fabric as a shadowy cape swooped down. He'll go for the sweep. The thug was busy counting when Batman took his legs. kind of story is this? The wallet spun into the air as a savage skull cracking pinball around the alleyway. The other thug turned and charged. His style was changed, less elaborate. Batman threw his arm into the swinging hook, popping the shoulder joint. Strike the vulnerable areas. End it fast. Is that the voice of Joker in his head? His fist landed the thug's tattooed solar plexus, stopping his body like a bolt of electricity. The longer the fight, the more it hurts him. Batman stood over the unconscious men, head to the back, eyes shut, breathing hard. How can he leave them? They don't deserve to live. Oh. Azrael looked down from the rooftop. He'd studied Batman for long enough. He knew what Gotham needed. Divine justice. So the asterisk quotes are from Azrael looking over. Okay, that makes way more sense. "254 days, 17 hours and 9 minutes. It seemed like a lifetime, yet still he hungered. Every waking moment a test of will. I'm gonna go get some water. He'd never he'd never truly be free from the cravings. But at least now he found a means to channel all that pain into something productive, something worthwhile. He'd returned to Santa Prisca broken and desperate, still reeling from his run-in with Batman Arkham City. He was searching for solace, a fresh start, a means of making the nightmares stop. When he arrived in the slums of his homeland and found a young boy bleeding out from a gunshot wound in the street, mother waiting by his side, Bane realized what had really drawn him back here. Beneath the veneer of luxury resorts and spas, Santa Prisca was a hotbed of corruption ruled by vicious cartels, drug lords amped up on venom, embroiled in a bloody turf war that had claimed countless innocent lives. Bane had started from the bottom and worked his way up. Now, as the sun bled out over the horizon, he admired the fruit of his labor. 12 severed heads lined up on a beat in various states of decay. The 12 most powerful drug lords on the island. His work was almost done. Just one target remained. Benadura, the stone fortress in which he had been born, raised, and forever corrupted. It was time to tear it all down. The trap. Three thugs, one hostage, easy. First, the guy with the gun. Barbara dropped behind the nearest of Joker's goons, crouched and launched herself back up. Okay. One a screamer stick on the back of the knee to drop him, the other met the back of his skull on the way down. Next, took out the knife. He'd had a knife, anyway. He had a broken wrist. A wrist he caught between both his sticks and snapped when he lunged at her. She let the arm drop and swung her weapons back and over her shoulders onto his head. The sad clown makeup looked perfect as he fell to the floor. Yeah, my right ear keeps on ringing. Like it's ringing 6 times now. What was I doing? No, I didn't see the time. 8 p.m.? 8 p.m. And now the mop up. She dropped and swung a sweeping kick to meet the last thug as he charged her, sending him barreling into a wall. Easy. The hostage was crying, curled fetal with his back to her from the corner of the room. Odd, for a police officer in Gotham, they usually seem worse. It's okay. Barbara took a step towards him. It's me, Batgirl. The sobbing got worse, louder, hysterical, and then Batman froze, huh? Huh? Where's Batman at? And then Barbara froze. He wasn't crying at all. What's wrong? The officer crooned. Aren't you going to rescue me? Not exactly. Barbara's eyes scanned for exits. Her feet took a fighting stance. Well then, said Zoker, twisting round to face her until he was lounging, in a blood-stained police officer's uniform on his side. Why don't you rescue Mr. Gordon instead? Kinda wish it was more than that, but I guess not. January 1st. Happy New Year, diary. I feel melancholy. Melancholy. I don't know what that word means, actually. The old dates hold no magic anymore. My New Year's resolution is to find new occasions to celebrate. January 21st. I feel reborn. Today I celebrated National Hugging Day for the first time. Pardon? I went to Elliott Memorial Hospital, covered myself in infected blood, and visited the children's ward. Dude. February 2nd. Happy Groundhog Day. My new house guest and I are going to watch the stream from Punxsutawney together. If the Ronin predicts an early spring, I'll let my new friend go. But if the groundhog retreats to his burrow, I'll bury my guest alive. If the Ronin predicts an early spring, I'll let my new friend go. But if the groundhog retreats to his burrow, I'll bury my guest alive? Who even thinks of that? June 5th, World Environment Day. A worthy, important cause. I pass this message on to a class of school children by forcing them to drink Ace Chemicals runoff. They won't pollute now. Buddy. Alright. Today I could have. Oh, hell no. Yeah, hell no. The first thing I read is today I cuff a man's leg. What was the next part? And nailed a wooden peg. Yeah, I'm about done. heck? Alright. September 19th. Dear Diary, Happy International Talk Like a Pirate Day. Today I cut off a man's leg and nailed a wooden peg in its place. He couldn't walk the plank. Very disappointing. Check on my scurvy victim, but she wasn't ready next year. September 21st. Happy World Peace Day. I left the bombs at the Currency Embassy. October 29th. Halloween tempts me. I promised Batman I'll be present at his end, and All Hallows Eve is a perfect time to bid farewell to him. I'll make this one exception in my year of alternative celebrations. October 31st. I can't say that word. DAMN Scarecrow. Well, I can, but I'm not going to. Move my mic. There. What? I'm not gonna lie, these stores are pretty good. An improvement in the city. Cass lifted the framed photo out of the box and placed it on the desk. He still remembered the day he pinned it to the inside of his locker during his first shift at the asylum. It had been with him ever since. Nice looking family you got there, sir, the sergeant remarked, busily clearing out the previous owner's possessions from a drawer. Just give me a second. I'm just gonna put this last on this. Cash was close to telling me the Lucky Charm, but he knew the reaction he'd get. The kid didn't know how crazy things could get. He'd soon end up as superstitious as all the rest. Besides, something was telling Cass luck might not be worth a DAMN around here. He'll be the 5th station supervisor in as many months. The others were all gone. Assassinated. Excuse me. Cass knew. Hold on. Cass knew he was putting himself in the crosshairs, tempting fate, but the commissioner had asked, and he couldn't refuse a friend. The sergeant finished packing the dead man's things as his garden arrived. Alright. Aaron, Sim said, offering his hand. Didn't think I'd see you tonight. Cash replied, shaking the commissioner's hand. Gordon always came down for this part. It was the introduction. Both men stepped out of the elevator onto the roof. The bat signal illuminated the night sky. You know, Cass said, we have met already. I know, Gordon said, but it's tradition. Just another word for superstition, Cass thought. What about this was about a poisoned chalice? The whole thing was named Poison Chalice. There was nothing about that. Oh, was the hand? Want to find a weak link in the security system? Look for the man with the gun. Especially when they're new in town. Poor guy didn't even know the first rule of Gotham. Selena mused. The manager of thugs from Bleak to the Bowery drilled into new recruits. Always look up. Well, he'd know it now. Selena dragged his unconscious body behind a dumpster and slipped through a vent into Arkham Asylum's administrative building. What would Selena look like in Arkham Asylum? She was late. The meeting had started. Ended, maybe? Scarecrow's voice, sonorous yet raspy, carried along the vent like a snake slithering through dry grass. Another voice replied, young, angry in disguise. Footsteps and silence. Worthless. Selena more names, details. A DAMN date. Batman was more inclined to ignore the occasional heist than see had information he needed. And besides, it was fun having something to wield over him, seeing the pain, pleading, especially on Gotham's apex predators face when they're alone, and she had the upper hand. She peeked through the vent. Scarecrow's office. No guard but a door. Good. Selena dropped down, twisting her body to land on all fours, and then an arc of electricity lashed up from the ceiling. Selena dodged it, all reflexes, and saw her attacker floating above the vent. Since when did Scarecrow have security drones? Yeah, since when? Oh! DAMN it, Selena, she thought, plotting her exit over the sound of the alarm. Always look up. What? Is this the, yeah, it should be. I've read this before. I think, Clown Puncher or Gotham Paladin went into this for the Killer Croc and Anarchy theory. The dozing soldiers snapped awake, gripped their semi-automatic rifles, and flicked the safeties off. They weren't certain what it was that had them spooked. Turbulence, perhaps. Could I please get past a sentence? No, a story. Without doing something extra? The unit commander nodded towards the container, trigger finger poised. The metal box was taking up most of the airship's cargo hold. It must have weighed several tons. And that wasn't including what was trapped inside. The thing these men had spent several weeks tracking through marshland on the outskirts of Gotham. Not everyone who started missing had made it. The ravaged body left behind unceremoniously. This mission didn't exist, and now neither did they. I don't know what that was, but alright. I'm not gonna bother with my glasses right now. I'll do it later. I'm reading this fine right now. Where was I? Oh. A plainclothes agent was reading the file, holding a handkerchief to his face to try and stem the smell of rotting fish emanating from the container. He only had words. Photographs, paste in history, he couldn't get to see the creature for real. A relief. The agent looked up and spotted the panicked faces. These soldiers are tired and burnt out. Last thing he needed was any accidents. Easy boys, he yelled over the engine war, stepping in the middle of prison. He ain't waking up for another month. Within the container, the tranquilizer had all but worn off. The opaque membrane withdrew across the eye. The vertical slit-shaped pupils dilated. Croc was awake and wanted off this airship. First line, and it's the most easiest scan of all of them. Yay. Actually, no. That's the Lady of Gotham. Who? Clark stood on the littered sidewalk, looking up at the sign. Until now, this plate had been a rumor, whispered in the dark. The deacon's missing. By the sounds of it, you had to take your head. Yeah? You had to take your bread with a little preaching. They could try, Clark thought. He was not hungry. Inside, a couple dozen men had their heads down, folding up tables and unstacking towers of chairs into rows. Clark spotted a large stainless steel pot, its lid ajar. The slit puffing steam. He made straight for it. His mouth hung open expectantly as he grabbed the lid. That's cartoonish. Also, I'm really fine. Like, I'm really fine. My vision is fine, too, for astigmatism. Like, it... No. Like, it's very slight astigmatism. It's really noticeable when it's a white background with black text. That's it. Like the deacon's missing right there. But it has to be like a bright white. Not like a white background. It has to be like a bright white. I don't know how to explain it. For my astigmatism to be like taking effect or whatever, the entire screen would have to be white and black text in the middle. That's it. Otherwise, my vision is not blurry. Like, seriously. I don't need glasses for majority of my reading. I can read The Deacon's Missing, Helping Gotham's Homeless for... What is that? Yeah, hold on. For... Yeah, it's not readable. I think the last part is charity, but I'm not sure. Whatever. They wanted to clear that away. A hand fell on his shoulder and squeezed, but he told me you'd come. The voice had that benevolence only a servant of God could muster. Yeah, the wrong servant. Clark turned around. The deacon's graying hair and lined face betrayed a searing vitality. I'd like to eat something, please, sir. Clark hurt himself. The last and only person he addressed that way being his father. The deacon released his grip and proceeded to ladle hot soup into a bowl. The Lord needs us strong, he proclaimed, passing it to Clark along with a spoon. The warm liquid snaked down his throat and coiled within his belly. It felt good, better than he expected. Clark went for another spoonful. Maybe he was that hungry after all. It's 2 spoonfuls. That's not much. Depends on the spoon, but if it's a normal spoon, that's just 2 spoonfuls. Like, that's generally just 2 spoonfuls. And even with like a big spoon, like, what are those spoons called? What are those spoons called? Like those slightly larger spoons. What are you doing? No, it's not that. What is this? Oh. The slightly larger spoons aren't even that big anyways. Just 2 spoonfuls? No. No. If we're talking ladle, does that even count as a spoon? A Close Shot with Dead Shot by Zack Ryder. Are you ready, Zack? Batman asked, looking straight at me, one eye filled with admiration, the other with respect. I'm ready, Batman, I replied bravely. Then let's do this, Zack, together. Batman said. Asked, really. Here we go. The Dark Knight stood up from behind our cover, then as we prepared to take on the deadly assassin that stood together, was I afraid, dear reader? I was terrified. But I couldn't let it so. Batman needed me. Then I saw it, the laser sight playing like a lover's tongue across his nipple. Kind of freaky stuff is this, man? Batman, no, I shouted dramatically. I dived forward then, knocking the caped Crusade to the ground as the boat whizzed past my ear. Batman was back on his feet in an instant. However, he grabbed me and pulled us both together behind a chimney suit in the bombed ruin of Arkham City. What now, Jack? Batman asked, his voice cracking slightly under the strain. I thought for a moment. You need to hide behind cover whenever you look in the direction of Batman. I explained patiently, and then try and reach a vent under the helipad. You weren't there! You weren't there! Batman looked at the distance between him and a sharpshooter marksman. You can do it, Batman, I said reassuringly. I know you can. This has to be fan fiction. You weren't even there. Not even that, hold on. I'm the one who actually helped you avoid getting shot. I went there in less than 2 minutes, by the way. From one corner of the map to the other corner. I'm the one who dived forward and knocked you to the ground, making Deadshot miss. Then shortly after that, Deadshot saying, "You made me miss my shot, Batman, I never miss." Blackout, I'm right there, right next to some random cover. I still don't know where I'm coming from. Possibly from the gargoyles. Possible, actually. Actually, no. Yeah. I'm the one who went under the helipad and went out through the vent. You weren't even there. One eye filled with admiration, the other with respect. What is that? Oh. Looking like an alien from what I was looking at. Slade pulls the hunting knife along the whetstone, the smooth scrape of steel underscoring the live combat feed. The last cobra went offline with a burst of radio interference. Slade shook his head. DAMN amateurs. The surveillance drone was circling above Bleak Island, relaying the battle below. The Knight was protecting Cloudburst and failing. Batman had just taken apart his support. Yeah. Now it was just the two of them left. Slade glanced at the monitor. Their heat signatures stalking each other through the city streets. He ran his thumb along the blade, still dull. This was torture, forced to watch from a mobile command center. The age chemicals, siege, the occupation, everything. Batman had taken on an entire army and was winning. Slade didn't belong here observing. It was like watching someone play a video game badly. It seemed to pick up the controller. Quite literally under the mayo. Playing the Arkham Trilogy. Contingency wasn't his style, he was better than that, but Scarecrow knew just how to sell it. He promised the soldier an end to those nightmares, the fear that made his hands tremble. Revenge, that is what you seek and I can give it to you. The Knight's tank took a strike. Systems critical. A plume of white static erupted on the screen. No one was picking that out of that thing alive. Seconds later, the radio crackled. It is time, Scarecrow announced. Batman is yours. Slade tested the blade. It was sharp enough now. Okay. I haven't even gotten 2 lines done yet. Linz took a generous swig from his hip flask, then pushed through the heavy oak doors into Tommaso Panessa's office. People actually went here. Garfield, have a seat. His boss's plump red face and expanded waistline betrayed the fact that he was bankrupt. Financially as well as morally. Lane shrunk into a chair as Panessa dispensed with a small talk, then began to justify the unceremonious firing of his lonely FX artist. Unceremonious firing of this lowly FX artist. Despite critical acclaim, the Inferno had recovered less than a quarter of its inflated budget in the 6 months since its release. Since a high-profile failure, combined with increased attention from the IRS, meant that the laundering millions of dollars of mob money through Panessa's studios was no longer a viable business plan. I always liked you, Linz, he said, like a veterinarian comforting an animal before pushing the plunger on a lethal injection. But the industry is different now. As a studio, we need to adapt or perish, and that means making some tough decisions. Garfield declined the proffered cigar with a wave of his hand. He felt sick watching the greasy old bastard wrap his lips around a wad of dried leaves that cost 3 times his monthly salary. I'm sure a man of your intelligence knew this day would come, Garfield. I'm sure you've prepared for every eventuality. Lynch was impaired, alright. He struck a match off the solid oak table and held up to light the man's cigar. He met his boss's gaze for the first time, then expelled a mouthful of nitroglycerine through the dancing flame. I need to relax my entire back. I'm about done. No, I'm not that done, though. I'm not that done. I'm going to the menu real quick. Yep. Nope. Yep. Okay. From the cold, nor slumbered, deep in slumber nor dreamed. She dreamt of Victor, of the man of the man he was, and of the man she knew he'd become. She heard him sometimes, his new metallic voice piercing through the frozen veil of her sleep like an ice pick. She heard his curses, his muttered threats, and whenever new therapy he was working on failed, and cells refused to divide and line up like soldiers on parade, when carefully authored mutations lay stubbornly dormant in unresponsive genes, she heard his harsh, anguished screams. It had been gradual, this thawing of her consciousness back into something alive. Something that flowed thickly, liquidly, from dream to memory, and could even snatch in traces of the outside world. She was trapped, imprisoned in frozen flesh, but not afraid. Fear seemed impossible for her cool brain. But there's a kind of freedom in this new existence. Freedom from the Huntington's cracked bodies she left behind. So that's what she has? Huntington's disease? This will work, Nora, this will work. Okay, from this distance, oh, I'm gonna need my glasses. Victor talked to her most days, worked through scientific problems as if she was his lab assistant, professed his love, reminisced about the early months of their marriage. But the memories are distant now. Nora knew. The details became vaguer every time. She wasn't just a frozen body. Nora had long realized. She was an idealized memory, frozen in time. Was his love? Victor said he could save her, but every second's passing drew them further apart. No, no remember love. Love was warm. That's pretty cool. Your Honor, Gordon shouted. The man's insane. For the last time, Commissioner, we are not here to discuss the prisoner's state of mind. Who are we talking about? Judge Wessel looked at Judge Wessel looked across at Gordon from the parole board panel. A look Jim had seen a dozen times this morning. Please, Wessel's watery eyes were saying. Don't make this harder than it is. Gordon shot a more succinct look back. To his left, the prisoners are talking again. Come now, Your Honor, as slanderous as the commissioner's comments are, he's only expressing his frustration at the farcical seems possible for pronunciation. Only expressing his frustration at the farcical nature of the so-called legal proceeding. Perhaps he doesn't understand his presence is merely for appearance's sake. You are decorative, Detective, Riddler concluded, flashing Jim a smug smile. Gordon understood all right. Thousands of prisoners, all held legally, and then nearly murdered by Hugo Strange. The inevitable class action lawsuit had left this tedious, soul-sapping exercise in its wake. Hundreds of parole hearings that only went one way. The prisoner got their freedom back, and Gordon got a signed declaration that the offender promised to be on the best behavior from now on in. If only they listened. I mean, really didn't really do anything besides, well, in this game, put some whittles down, attempted murder of Batman and Catwoman, kidnapping, possibly trespassing, possibly breaking and entering. Now, Riddler continued, given that our poor commissioner must endure several hundred more of these hearings, why don't you spare us the tedium of forcing him to reiterate the state's legally sold case against me, and simply grant me the freedom to which I'm entitled? The entire parole board spluttered indignantly. Man's got a point, Gordon conceded as he walked at the door. It is 9 p.m. That's for a straight hour, and I haven't done half. Oh. Oh, okay. 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 No more of this grief. CRAP. Thought Scratch. 6 months since Joker died. Time hardly moved on. And if she couldn't move on, well, it's time the gang did. Scratch was smart, everybody said it, and he had a plan. Harley had one of her freaky Joker statues, the one to the television set, sat on the shoulders in her room. Every night she kissed a creepy video reel of his face goodnight, right on the grinning lips. Scratch was gonna put a bomb inside it, kill Harley and decapitate the old boss too. Nothing says put Scratch in charge like that. I know exactly how this plays out, by the way, because I've read it before. Harley was out. Gang war with Penguin's crew. That's all they did these days. Defend instead of expand. Scratch was gonna change that, he thought, stepping into her room. White and black everywhere. The curtains, the carpet, the bed, like playing cards. Harley said once he handed out the new uniforms. Clubs and hearts. Joker was in the corner, grinning at him. His eyes followed Scratch around the room, entered by occasional static. I dare you, they said, as Scratch crept up to the smiling ghost. Sorry, boss, he said, taking out the screwdriver and the small explosive charge. But I've got to do this for the gang. Bad idea, Scratchy, Joker replied. Scratch froze, terrified. Bad idea, Scratchy, Joker said. Same intonation as before. Bad idea, Scratchy. Scratch relaxed. She cut together, made out of old tapes. But that meant the skull-cracking impact of Harley's baseball bat cut off the thought. Master Bruce, you're the visitor. Bruce looked up from his position, curled in a fetal ball on the window ledge. He'd had plenty of visitors since the death of his parents, an endless stream of grown-ups who suffocated him in kindness, putting him on the head and talking in soft, patronizing voices as if a sentence spoken at a normal volume might cause the poor little orphan to detonate. Like a bomb, they'd rather leave undisturbed than risk having defused. This wasn't one of people. This was Thomas Elliot. Tommy. The blonde boy pushed past Alfred before Bruce could respond. He looked at Bruce and grinned. Thank you, Alfred, Bruce said, trying to sound formal in front of his friend. Alfred coughed awkwardly before leaving the room. It was these moments, when others were around, that he and Bruce were still in the... When others were around, that he and Bruce were still willing to navigate together. Alfred had reached for Bruce's hand at the funeral, only for the boy to snatch it away. Embarrassed, yet he refused to let go during the car ride home. We have to be kind to you. Tommy slumped casually down to Bruce and fixed him with an intense stare that mirrored Bruce's own. That's what Miss Hyslop? Why didn't you take the other's name? Sit at school. Everyone's been kind to me, Tommy. It's boring. Tell me if you thought about this. I wish my parents were dead, he said eventually. then I'd be a billionaire like you. Bruce's stunned laughter echoed around the manor's empty rooms. You've got to be kidding me. You know, the one thing I wish we could have done was more conversation with Jason Todd. Like, after the story with Scarecrow ends, we hunt down Jason Todd and then lock him up. Then after that, we question, along with the Bat family, like Nightwing, I don't know, everyone that wasn't a criminal, like Selena, like Oracle, Alfred, Nightwing, that's pretty much it. Besides Batman, with his mask off. That, or just Bruce with his mask off, asking questions along with Alfred. Pamela stirred from her slumber and squinted at the lone orchid on her nightstand. Conventional wisdom says that Gloriosa, don't know if I pronounced that correctly, could never survive in such dry, frigid conditions. Just as the doctors had predicted, she herself would wither and die within a month of her admittance to Seattle General's intensive care unit. I am so tired right now. It had been almost 6 and the flowers in full bloom, while Pamela had never felt stronger or more in tune with the world around her. But, whatever. The orchid had been a gift from her mentor, Professor Jason Woodrow, the man who'd professed his love for her, then left her to die with a toxic cocktail of phytohormones he'd forced her to ingest in the lab they shared. From Pamela's initial heartache seemed paltry in hindsight. She realized Roju's parting gift was far greater than even he could have imagined. The orchid spoke to her now. Ethereal whispers of a world beyond these sterile walls with a high purpose on new life. Pamela feigned sleep when the door opened and the handsome specialist approached the bed to check on her. She thrust out an arm, gripped the back of his neck with an inhuman strength, and pulled him in close. The man was powerless to resist as she planted a deadly kiss on his lips. Timid wallflower, Pamela Isley, was no more. Poison ivy had arrived.
Man, oh man, come on now.
Is it? Yeah. Again with this dude? Just Jack. Jack Ryder's weekly column, only in the Herald. Hey there, Gotham. Jack's back. I know, it's been a while, but I've been busy. Book deals, TV appearances, negotiations to syndicate this very column. Those things take time, Jack fans. Too much time, actually. And the agents never call you back, so I decided to give up on them. Besides, I already had a starring a role in the televisual event of the season. I've never heard of televisual. Yup, that was my handsome face you saw sprouting from an immaculately tailored suit and giving evidence to the Arkham City Commission. And I just want to set the record straight. Yes, I said that Arkham City was illegal. Yes, I produced documentary evidence of prisoners being abused, degraded, forced to live in squalor, and nearly killed. And yes, I said that anyone exposed to such horrors should be released and generously compensated. But let's get one thing straight, Gotham. I was talking about me. I didn't need to see that CRAP. I shouldn't have even been there. I saw one guy eating his own arm when food supplies ran low. His own arm. I mean, he looked like he was accustomed to hate cuisine on the other side of the wall, but me, I dined well, Gotham, and I needed therapy after. So all you losers in the hate mail, stop it. It's not my fault that the crooks got free. I just wanted Gotham City to pay its debt to me. I'm sure you do too. Hashtag Justice for Jack Ryder. Hashtag Jack Rydergate. What? You're not the police. Why are they sending you hate mail for letting the crooks get free? And even then, you had no control over anything at all. You were just like anyone else. It's just a different history. I grabbed my phone for a controller. What? The Fall. Yay, something interesting. Even though I already read it like 3 times before. Also, talking about Jason Todd, Clown Puncher, or Gotham Paladin, made a recent video on how the Joker missed Jason. Even though there was a clear bullet wound right there, and he wasn't breathing. And it's not like it was a hallucination. Why would you have a nightmare about something and a hallucination of it? if it wasn't real. So it definitely was real. Batman was wrong. He'd always been wrong about Joker. There was no madhouse qualified, no prison secure enough. Jason knew that now, after what he'd seen tonight. Little arms, little legs, little heads crudely, mockingly stitched together. He'd come straight from the kindergarten, followed a trail of innocent blood back to Arkham Asylum. Shocker switched off. Cowl communications disabled. He was a ghost. Batman wouldn't find him until it was done. Yeah. And you're angry at Batman for what now? Leaving you to die? Or leaving you in Arkham Asylum for over a year with him? You turned off your tracker. Weeping parents fighting over patchwork corpses. The sanatorium had been derelict for years, a burnt-out patch of dead earth on top, a forgotten ward of cells below. Good, Jason thought. He's right in the dirt. There's a moral line that Bruce had sworn never to cross. Jason would cross it for him. Jason had been watching a grief-stricken mother piece her son together when the kindergarten speaker system came to life. No, Robin, she thought, push it down. Jason pulled back the heavy iron doors that would have once led into a lobby suit and dropped in the dark. Humpty Dumpty sat on the wall. Humpty Dumpty had a great fall, Joker sang. It was a net halfway down that caught him. It broke with his weight, sending him tumbling out the end of the suit onto the granite floor. Jason gritted his teeth, breathed through the first swing of the crowbar took out 2 teeth. The second broke his ankle. All the king's horses and all the king's men couldn't put Humpty together again, Joker was singing. I do not allow him visitors, Warden Sharp spluttered angrily as Batman walked past. It's not a social call. Inside the cell, harsh fluorescent bulbs bounced the light off the sterile, white padded walls. It's really you, you're here! The cell's straight-jacketed occupant flung himself from the corner of the room until it was slobbering, weeping at Batman's armored boots. I'm so glad it's you, Bats, Joker sobbed. They think I'm mad. It's so low down it's tried scrolling. Batman kicked upwards, flipped the maniac onto his back and brought their foot back down to pin him there. 3 dead, all children. You've been locked up here since Blackgate. Batman pushed down, ribs cracked. Tell me how. The sudden violence, the guttural sound of Batman's roar, surprised them both. Batman backed towards the door, appalled, suddenly freed. Joker rolled on the floor, hysterical. I knew it, he giggled, I knew you cared. Batman drew his cape on himself, pushed the anger, the sudden self-disgust back down. You got out, Joker. How? Maybe I am mad. Joker scrabbled backwards, leaned against the wall. This is the first I'm hearing of it. He paused then and spoke with a sickening sincerity. I didn't clear Kitty's, and you don't need excuses to drop by. When Soap returned to security, Joker learned Joker was alone, grinning ear to ear. I'm in his head, Sarpy. Could have been Counterman. Gotham's no kind of place to raise a child. Those were Ellen's first words when he told her about the promotion and transfer to GCPD. To say the move had to put a strain on their marriage would be an understatement. The first few months were difficult, but gradually Seed established roots, made new friends, warmed to life in the city. Commissioner Gordon had even promised to use his influence to secure their son Tyler a chance at McCallum Academy. Life was good. Then Arkham City happened. Ellen's doubts resurfaced. The honeymoon period was over. He convinced her to stick it out for another year. If things had improved, they would back to filming Keystone. The promise was a gamble. He hated Keystone, mostly he hated the in-laws. And at the time, Gotham looked like it was spiraling into the abyss. But now, 9 months on, as he stood with his family among the throng of tourists on the latest Gotham's viewing platform, he was satisfied that the gamble had paid off. There was a different feel about Gotham these days. Joker was dead, the nightmare of Arkham City was a distant memory, and the crime continued to fall. Across the water, amid the glittering lanterns of Chinatown, Halloween decorations were being hoisted above high above the street. Dad, are you gonna take me to the parade? Sorry, kiddo, Dad has to work, but your mother will take you, right, honey? Ellen jabbed him in the ribs, smiling. Whatever you say, Officer Owens. That's the person at the very start of the game that I chose to not suit with. Good thing I didn't have ruin this job. New Game Plus is gonna do something different though. Scenes of Heart. More guns, Mr. Wayne, said Lucius, eyeing the proposed specifications for the new Batmobile. They were in Lucius's offices. That's a new alternate timeline. Bruce's office. Technically, though Lucius spent most time here, Bruce has turned up dutifully for the biannual department heads meeting of Wayne Tech. Lucius had watched Bruce work the room, smiling and taking the hands of the senior technicians, biochemists, engineers, software security experts, making just enough informed conversation with Lucius' chief systems engineer to impress yet not shock her. And then he and Bruce had a tired here. Lucius doubted anyone else had noticed Wayne favoring his right leg as he recovered from whatever he subjected it to the night before. Can you do it? Bruce asked. All the easy charm from the meeting room was gone. It would seem like an unfamiliarness to a casual observer, Lucius thought, but it was the opposite. Bruce to his friends, the people he trusted, the honor of not pretending. Lucius smiled. It won't be easy. Wayne Tech had been opt-out of the arms industry for a while. Could claim the guns for testing materials when he made the order. He reasoned and do all the prototyping alone. Why the change of heart, Mr. Wayne? Lucius, always a pragmatist, had long campaigned for a more offensively equipped Batmobile, just in case. Bruce had resisted him until now, but ever since Joker died, his employer had been not aggressive, exactly. Lucius couldn't quite identify the change. Just in case, Bruce said as he left the room. What time was it? 9:28 p.m. The Sears chipped and rusted blades squeaked open, narrowly missing the neck as they collected a soft clump of blonde hair. There, pretty, don't move an inch. These bolted daggers smite more than the pins. In return, a whimper stifled beneath thick duct tape. Well, Hatter's grubby fingers gripped and scrummed around the cutter's oversized ears, one in each hand, squinting. His tongue curled up in concentration, a pile of butchered wigs lay tossed behind him. This was the last one, and it had to be a success. In for a penny, in for a pound. Let's hope it's just a hair that falls to the ground. Like a crocodile's bite, the Sears collapsed shut, followed by the thundered wobble of a stool as Hatter hopped down onto the floor to gauge his work. Frabjous. What a win. Now for the hairs in their chinny chin chin. Okay. Hatter placed the Sears down and picked up a cutthroat razor, delicately fanning out the blade as he turned to face his terrified creation, queen-like and flanked by a row of defiled mannequins. He couldn't get over how well the blue dress fit the man's slender frame, but then that was why he chose him. He'll do for now, Hatter thought, until someone better came along. Someone just like his Alice. What is this now? 5, 10, that's just 20. Like 75%. Yeah, I'd say that. Dr. Kirk Langstrom surveyed the miracle of evolution splayed out on the table before him. This modus rotundus, the common vampire bat, it was perhaps the most magnificent creature he'd ever studied up close, aside from Francine, of course. Calling your waif a creature is crazy. Langstrom dialed up the volume on the sound system and shut his eyes, letting Brahms' Third Symphony swell in his ears. The music conjured memories of happy times with his beautiful wife before his diagnosis, before the rot set in. The tinnitus had been subtle at first, like the low hum of a refrigerator in another room, a mightily irritating whine he couldn't quite place yet, but couldn't quite ignore. As the weeks wore on, the noise grew overwhelming, until Kirk could hear nothing else unless he concentrated hard enough. The doctor's words, however, had been loud and clear. Kirk's affliction was rare, chronic, and irreversible. Hmm. The thought of never enjoying his favorite symphonies again was agonizing, but it was Francine's voice he would miss the most. This little inflection she adopted when she teased him, and the way she laughed, as the little girl inside her had never grown up. Kirk wasn't prepared to let all that go without a fight. He was a man of science, for Christ's sake. And science would find a way. The answer Kirk knew was staring up at him from the dissection table. All these hours. And it's up to this point. Bruce gripped his father's hand as the elevator rocketed skyward. Confined spaces still made him anxious. Dude, I swear I'm losing it, Dutch. I'm losing it, Dutch. I'm so losing it. I saw like a light go down, like from along my TV stand. Like TV stand, like setup stand. Where am I? But his father provided comfort. Just as he did on all those nights, Bruce would wake up screaming, paralyzed by fear, reliving the moment he'd found himself trapped inside the dank, bat-infested cave beneath the grounds of the manor. He breathed a sigh of relief when the elevator finally slowed to a halt and the doors opened to Thomas Wayne's plus new office at the summit of Wayne Tower. "Take a look, son," his father said, leading Bruce to the vast windows overlooking Gotham's smog-shrouded skyline. The boy pressed his palms against the cold glass and felt a dizzying rush as he gazed down at the miniatures of the city below. "Gotham's been good to us, Bruce, and we have a responsibility to give something back. This tower is the beginning of our legacy. A legacy I hope you will continue long after I'm gone." Bruce looked up to meet his father's eyes. The thought of losing him had never crossed the young boy's mind. And suddenly Bruce was back in that cave, alone, the piercing screech of bats filling up his ears. "Oh, finally, something." Nightwing grappled to the warehouse roof and secreted himself in darkness. He'd chased a truck here on foot and was using a technique Bruce had taught him to control his breathing. A plume of steaming breath could easily give away his position to the guards by the skylight. Not that they sounded very observant. "I hate this stinking place. Give me Gotham any day," the first thug said. "Yeah, the sooner we get back here, the better," his buddy replied. Okay, okay. Nightwing was well aware of his adopted city's shortcomings. He just didn't need to hear it from these goons. He considered taking them out, sneaking further inside. No, best do this clean. Still, no one could get away with something like this with Batman around. Who we got to worry about here? Nightwing. What? Who we got to worry about here? Nightwing? He's like baby Batman. Two electrified instrument sticks bounced up and struck the base of both skulls, cutting their laughter short. "You just killed yourself, buddy." That nerve was as raw now as the day he left the manor. What? Huh? Did we miss a chapter? No. That nerve was as raw now as the day. As the day he left the manor. Bruce had sent him away like a parent packing a teenage son off to college. He wasn't grown up yet, not in Bruce's eyes. Looking down through the angled glass, scores of men were busy at work. Hundreds of crates, thousands of guns. The operation was bigger than he thought, and it was heading back to Gotham. "You missed this one, Bruce. This college kid was going home." Screw Dad and screw Bruce Wayne. Barbara walked through Wayne Manor, dropping a mask and cape from her masquerade ball outfit. She should have guessed that other people would have had the bat idea too. Not that it mattered. Whatever she wore, she'd still be 20 years younger than everybody here. Geez, she'd rather Dad started dating again than drag her to these things. At least she had her laptop. Thank God. She just needed an access point that wasn't buried beneath 15 layers of paranoid rich guy encryption. By the way, who is writing these canonically? Are these the personalities of all these characters? Writing about the same person, where that personality comes from? Because if so, there's no way that all of these characters are writing about themselves. Not even that, but in these ways. She just needed an access point that wasn't buried beneath 15 layers of paranoid. Oh, wait. A library, maybe? Barbara pulled back the huge oak door and slipped into the room. Set her computer on the desk and DAMN it. We are not all billionaires, Bruce. Some of us need to check we haven't been outbid on that new pair of scuba sticks. In fact, Barbara decided, didn't rich guys like Wayne, old people like her, a little unauthorized net access from time to time? She used the program she'd written to crack GCPD's network. The time Dad left her sitting in an interview room during Bring Your Daughter to Work Day. It was fast, and it found hidden networks too. Not that Bruce Wayne will need many of. Huh. What was entrance 6? The signal is strong, close by, even stronger than the library wireless, in fact. What the hell? Bubba thought, as he tore his defenses apart. She felt it before she heard anything. A cold gust of air as the bookcase behind her disappeared. That's how she found out? Penguin yelped as his foot broke through a sodden floorboard. Moments later, one of his bodyguards burst into the room, brandishing a pistol. I heard a scream. He saw Penguin trying to extricate himself. Boss, what's wrong? What does it look like? The bodyguard scrambled to find the words. He hoped it wasn't a trick question. Never mind, Penguin barked. Just help me. Holstering his gun, the bodyguard heaved Penguin free and started brushing the watery pulp from his trousers. Huh? No! Get out of it! Penguin snapped. Finding his balance between a windowsill. Out there, looming above, Gotham's latest monstrosity, Wayne Plaza. This was my old man's study, Penguin proclaimed. It'd kill him if he had to see that poxy thing day and night. Cobblepot Manor had been derelict for years, left to rot, in Penguin's mind, just the way Bruce Wayne wanted it. A permanent reminder of defeat. The bodyguard was tugging at a strip of wallpaper. So, I guess we wait for the compensation, huh? Not likely. Penguin scooted back to the broken floorboard, dropped to his knees, and plunged his arm into the hole. You think I'm waiting around for Gotham City to cough up? You got nothing coming. With that, he pulled out a yellowing wad of paper. This the deeds to a company operating out of Bloodhaven. North Refrigeration. Penguin pocketed his ace in a lit cigar. Don't count the compotes yet, Mr. Wayne. And we're on to Professor Pig. Just one more line. No cocaine. Mr. O'Neill staggered into the spotlight alone, gripping a briefcase. Beyond the harsh light, the depths of the circus tent were a black void. He squinted, trying to focus. His sleep-deprived mind was playing tricks. He thought for a moment he could see an audience. That is crazy. I know you can hallucinate seeing like a person with the wrong stuff in front of you, but to imagine an entire audience is crazy. You need your eyes checked out. How could you just see an entire audience that is not there? Welcome, a voice boomed operatically. Oh boy. The spotlight shifted. There he was, the pig-masked man who'd summoned him. Okay, where's my phone at? I'm gonna look at where this thing is coming from. Hold on a second. Absolutely nothing. That's just wonderful. Okay. The professor, standing proudly behind a small boy, his blood-stained hands, finger drumming those delicate shoulders. A pained murmur sounded from the child, muffled through a plain white face mask at its edge, a shoreline of weeping fused flesh. His salted slug of a tongue writhing in the mouth slit. The horror wasn't unimaginable, it was there right in front of him. It was fact. Just as he was a parent, and this was his son, butchered and transformed. O'Neill's stomach imploded and bent him double, retching onto the straw-bedded ground. Daddy Man is upset, whined the professor. Daddy Man, not pleased with our work. He loosed a terrifying squeal. The young boy moaned like a busted instrument. I've got money. O'Neill wiped the bile from his mouth, then popped the briefcase and threw it to the ground. Wads of green packed tight. Give me my son, please. The professor shook his head. Not your son now, my Donald-on. Before O'Neill could fathom the meaning of that word, something caught his eye. There in the void they were being watched. Faces shuffled closer. Plain white masks. Dozens of them. Encircled. Sons, mothers, fathers, once like him. That is 3 lines done. After this, I go play WWE 2025 At night, I have read so much. Bro. Prison. The irony wasn't lost on Quincy, sir, but that didn't mean he appreciated it. Quincy cried on the hard, cramped bed in a small, sterile cell, longing for the splendor of his city hall. He wished his master was here. Dr. Hugo Strange had awoken Quincy, lifted him to a higher state of awareness, made him mayor of Gotham. The therapy, the drug, the loss of free will, a fair price for such a gift. In return, Quincy had defended Strange through both trials. Even now, he clutched onto Strange's remaining secrets, the mementos of a parted friend. It's okay, Quincy, he heard Strange say. I'm here. So you go, Quincy asked, wiping his tears on the cheap Arkham City jumpsuit the guards made him wear. There he was, Dr. Hugo Strange with his radiant white lab coat and paternal smile. Quincy, my servant, my friend, Hugo said, we don't have much time. Quincy was crying again with joy. How, master? How did you... Psychology, Quincy. Science. I'm a being of suggestion, etched into your subconscious by my living self. I'm pretty sure that being said is enough evidence that you need therapy. No, but seriously. At least you're told what's happening by the hallucination. The therapy, Quincy realized, the hypnosis, the drugs. Stay with me, master, please. Quincy tried to grab hold of Phantom Hand. I cannot, Strange said, looking benevolently down at Quincy, stroking his hair with a touch the prisoner couldn't feel. But there was one last service you can perform for me. Anything, Hugo, please. First, remove the seat from your bed, Quincy, and tie it to the light fixture on the ceiling. Why was there a seat on his bed in the first place? People can be suicidal. Why is there a seat on your bed, my guy? If you're gonna put a seat down, can you strap it down to the bottom? And make it so the mattress cannot be flipped? Something to not let people just hang themselves? The messenger... Bro.
He'll be in
jail within the week.
No.
Imagine the bail price.
The messenger dropped down onto the puddled street and stayed crouched in the shadow, her hand resting on the hilt of a katana. Caution was innate, trained into every sinew and fiber of her body. She waited for the drunken couple to stagger past and approached her canvas, a wall of decaying posters. She unfolded the stencil and held it in place. The small nozzle concealed in her wrist guard released a pressurized spray of black paint. With a few waves of her hand, the image was complete. Is that the same font as Red Dead? I would have sworn it is. Not to like a copy. I'm not saying not to like it's really similar. It would join the others he had spent the night emblazoning on Gotham's walls. Most people would think it was just another work of art. They wouldn't know of the war that raged, the war to bring him back, to resurrect Ra's al Ghul. The air whistled. Instinct turned her head as a blade grazed skin and embedded itself in the center of the dripping insignia. The assassin stepped over the throwing stance and drew a sword from her back. You openly defy the League of Assassins. The penalty is death. Wiping the blood from her cheek, the messenger faced her enemy. Enemy! I'm not 10. There is no league without him. That is the truth. Surveying her surroundings, the assassin approached. You will not find his body. What makes you think we're still looking? Messenger unsheathed her katana. The demon's head will live again.
Here we go.
What? Why do you attack Batman? He is based. You are a... Yeah, that was the internet back then. That was the internet back then. No, I don't know. I wasn't given internet access until like at least 10. Riddler deleted the email, and all the others like it. As prickly hot anger and shame squirmed through his insides. No point denying it. Hashtag Crusader Gate had been a disastrous social media campaign. He couldn't understand it. It seemed the internet's idiotic and easily roused rebel could froth itself into a full fat cappuccino, have frenzy over white knights, but offer it up a dark one on a plate, and you get a soy latte's worth of indignation at best. Didn't they understand what Batman had done? You forget. It is very, very private on what Batman does in buildings. Do you think people know about what happened to you specifically? No. The memories rise up like bile. Riddler is back in Arkham City. Batman places an explosive hat, Riddler's own invention, on his head. forces him to march in endless circles test the device detonates. Lest the device detonates. It's hours before Riddler realizes the trick that the explosive has been defused, having borne witness to his saying that this computer is tainted now. Yet Riddler paused. He still had electrical burns from last time he angrily ripped 128 gigs of RAM from a motherboard. His search for a hammer concluded with another email arrived. To the owner of Enigmatic Holdings Ltd., Gotham City Council hereby approves your purchase of the disused sewerage and water processing facilities beneath the city. It began. For the first time in months, Edward smiled. Dude, I cannot wait until this is done! Roach wrenched against his restraints and watched the beetles skitter across Scarecrow's gloved hand. He wasn't sure what made him sicker, Scarecrow's creepy new face or the rocking of the DAMN cargo container they were hidden inside. Man, you cannot let go of that work, can you? Zucker would find him, surely. They couldn't have gone far from the steel mill. Fascinating creatures, aren't they? Scarecrow said. So small. Crane was holding a bug by one of its legs. Now, as the other 5 limbs scrabbled at the air, a wave hit the boat and the poor thing swung back and forth. No warning colors either. He dropped the bug to the floor. Huh. It scuttled towards Roach, who fought back the urge to stamp on it. He didn't want to look afraid. Do they want the predators to fall for it? Scarecrow asked, watching another insect creep across his palm, boosting their teeth into his fragile cell. The beast that does so will regret it, Scarecrow explained, wiping a masked up insect into a glass beaker. Not through sickness or death. He added chemicals to the beaker now, muddling the mixture into a greenish black, sludgy cocktail. But through the hallucinations this creature's toxic secretions cause, through the beating of their overworked heart, the adrenaline coursing through their bloodstream, through fear. He turned to Roach now, the beaker in one hand, a phone in the other. My toxin filled me at Arkham. Together we will ensure that will never happen again. Yeah, change that up because, yeah. Together we will ensure that never happens again. There you go. Instead of me accidentally replacing, like, 2 words. Pyrophobia, fear of fire. Please. Please. I am way too tired for this. But you know what? I'm on the last 5 after this. Yes, sir. Pyrophobia, fear of fire. Some fears make more sense than others, Alex thought, crunching his eyes shut against the flames and retreating to the furthest corner of his cell. He read a case study once when he was sane about men with pharmacophobia. 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 Fear of medicine. That's the thing you're born with? The poor man suffered from epileptic seizures, yet refused to take his pills. Madness. How is that madness? You're just scared of it. Which, by the way, why did transphobia or fatphobic when it's phobic or phobia? It's not a fear of it. Madness. Counterintuitive. Misfiring self-preservation instinct, rejecting the very things of the preserved. Yeah. But fear of fire, that made evolutionary sense. Alex comforted himself, picturing humanity's ancestors scattering across the veldt as flames licked dry grass. He wasn't mad, he was just too sensitive. His phobia was just the awareness of the damage that the inferno raging in front of him could do to his delicate tissues, if it was real. Simon had summoned him. Alex remembered, accused him of betrayal, and now he was here, a test subject. Meat for the grinder. Brain matter for the thresher. More data for Stag. They'd stopped pumping toxin to his cell hours ago, but still the fires burned around him, a phantom wall of flame. And that's what happened after the interview, or the tapes. They started closing in. Alex Torius screamed as the flames consumed him. Screamed of terror, not pain. To an outside observer, the result was slapstick. A white-coated scientist falling at nothing. But all Alex could see was flames eating at his flesh and gnawing down to the bone. Five left. 10 p.m. Zach hated Mondays. He'd been working the early shift at the morgue for all of 3 weeks, and he was already starting to resemble a pallid corpse. The bourbon-induced hangover certainly wasn't helping. His stomach had been growling all morning, and it was still an hour until lunch. His bowels lurched at the thought of another plate of slop from the commissary. Only this time the accompanying growl was deeper, more resonant from another place. He scanned the room for the source. The stiff sometimes released pockets of gas when they started to decompose. Pungent gifts from the afterlife. Okay. Afterlife. But this sound was different. Almost like a word trying to be formed, trapped by shuddering lips. It was coming from one of the new cold storage units. These compartments aren't supposed to have locked, but this one had 4. They aren't usually this big either, and they certainly didn't have Wayne Tech branding. The door swung open and plumes of dry ice poured out around Zach's legs. As the lights flickered on, he could see the outline of a hulking corpse spread out on the floor. It was inhumanly large and breathing? Bore. Zach stepped on tiles and landed hard, sending his glasses skidding across the room. Feeling with his hands, he worked his way over a huge slab of cold muscle to the wrist. As thick as a thigh, he wiped the frost off the plastic ID tag and strained to see the name Solomon Grundy, like a nursery rhyme. The body sifted, its giant lungs filling with ice-cold air. The voice was rough, guttural, angry. Born on a Monday. So, someone just woke him up. Thanks. Thanks for that. Yeah, I was supposed to scan that after he got kidnapped, but I scanned it when he was still with me. So, yeah. That's what you're supposed to scan. Not Robin. You're supposed to scan that. A broken staff, 2 remote-controlled Zorkins, and the Scarecrow insignia. Hold on. Robin stood at Oracle's side as they watched the 3D model of an inconspicuous blood cell rotate on the back computer's monitor. "He's still showing no symptoms?" Oracle asked as he delved deeper into the cell structure. Cell walls were intact, plasma healthy and clear. "Nothing," Tim replied. Oracle glanced over his shoulder. Tim was staring straight ahead, arms folded, the muscle in his jaw flexed. No smile, not today. He was working hard. They both were. Gotham demanded everything of them, every day. "Come on, Mr. Adams," Oracle asked, fighting a wave of exhaustion. "What are you hiding? The protein channels, maybe?" Tim limped to the point at the image when he drew his arm away. His hand grazed Barbara's neck. Barbara stopped typing, caught a breath. Tim went still. The moment drew itself out, each second marked by the clock tower's mechanical heartbeat. And then Tim turned away. "We can't do this. Not again." "Hematology was never your strong suit, huh, Drake?" Barbara juked painfully, but Tim was already gone. She sat there, wondering why he didn't come back, and why she didn't try and stop him. Like he must have hoped she would, but why make things harder than they had to be? Gotham came first, the job. It's a choice they made. They can turn their backs on each other, but not on that. Garbage collectors, axe pipes, sat in the Hell's Gate offices holding a stained second-hand uniform at arm's length. Like a new parent with their first dirty diaper. "Where's Sir?" Dent growled from across the desk. Pipes didn't argue. It wasn't nice Harvey speaking. You could tell after a while. The way a group of school friends can tell a pair of identical twins among them apart. So there's a nice Harvey and a rude Harvey and then Two-Face. Unless you literally just mean Dent. Which, to be honest, isn't much since he stopped giving me dialogue. Like, core of the story. It's not about the voice, not always. It's about the face. Which eye swings around fast to look at you? Which side of the mouth? The lantern's out or its hard, twisted lips? The smile plays cross first. We need a front for the bank job, Dent said, and you owe us, all of you, the compensation claims. Arkham City had been corrupt as hell, sir, but Pipes had run-ins with enough dirty cops to know justice flowed one way in Gotham. Well, it does if you haven't got the best lawyer the city ever saw in your class action suit from behind the scenes. I get it, boss, I do, Pipe stammered. It's just Hell's Gate waste disposal and legal services, really? Dent leaned forward. Pipes tried not to shudder as the weeping skin peeled from the leather chair. Trust me, Nice Harvey answered. They're one and the same in this town.
To left, and I get to do Doogie Plus tomorrow.
Live in 10, Vicky, her command said. They had the stats to themselves. Huddles of reporters looked at her enviously over the police cordon. Don't know. It was a technicality, really, but as a material witness to Sart's crime, she'd given evidence at the courthouse that morning. She'd been impossible to get rid of after that. Showtime. Good evening, Gotham. I'm Vicky Vale. Behind me stands Solomon Wayne Courthouse, once part of Arkham City. Today, the venue in which former Mayor Quincy Sharp was acquitted of his participation in that conspiracy. By the way, I'm going to check right now. No. I am vindicated, Sharp screamed, bursting out of the courthouse and into a bombardment of camouflages. It was Vicky he honed in on, despite his lawyer's protests. Please the not guilty verdict, Quincy, Vil asked, her voice level calm reporter tones. Oh, I'm guilty, Sharp sputtered, of maintaining order, punishing the guilty, weaning this thankless city off its reliance on vigilante justice. What about funneling weapons into Arkham City, Vil asked, an edge to her voice now. Weapons like the rocket launcher that killed my helicopter pilot and friend. See me in Arkham City. Unthinkable, Sharp said, which is precisely why I was acquitted on that and all other charges. Your journalistic objectivity has been compromised by trauma, Miss Vale. Are you sure, Quincy? Vale asked, handing him a sheet of paper, because it looks like your signature on this requisition order. Sharp froze. The camera kept flashing. She should have said it in court, but it was her scoop after all.
We are on the last one, and guess what? It's Victor Zaz again.
It was Victor Zaz on the last one. Victor savored the familiar warmth of arterial blood splashing his face as he eased another of Penguin's lackeys into oblivion. He wiped the blade on his victim's bucket jacket and searched of his own forearm for a clean plot of flesh amid the latticework of scars and fresh incisions. It had been an eventful night, and the blood loss, you kidding me, was starting to drain Victor's energy. He'd planned to liberate just a handful of Penguin and Two-Face's men, leave the bodies in plain sight, and sent a message to the Scarecrow, who seemed determined to exclude him from his plans. But when he told the first victim felt the nice cold steel, Victor knew he wouldn't be satisfied until he'd felled a dozen more. A dozen or more. Sirens howled in the distance, and Zaz looked up to see the sky illuminated by the symbol of a bat. It seemed Scarecrow's Halloween festivities had already begun. Instinctively, Victor's fingers traced a smooth patch of skin he was saving specifically for Batman. Let Scarecrow have his fun tonight, he thought. Batman would no doubt humiliate him and the others who'd followed his farcical plan. Then Zaz would find him. That patch of skin won't be smooth for long. Yay!
Imagine what the Blackgate boys will do when Batman gets dumped in there.
I'm getting off. Have a good... You last saved over an hour ago. Thanks, game. Thanks. Real kind. Have a good day, Night. I'm gonna go play some WWE 2K25 with Night. Have a good day.